And now I would like to quickly, move on to how I perceive my enlightenment and what is it that I can share with you, which is making me move in this direction to communicate to you guys about what enlightenment is. Uh, I was leading a corporate life, I was in a corporate career, and I had some stresses which I wanted to beat. And I quit my job in 2004 and I went to Goa with a friend of mine just to have some fun and relax. And then we came back after a week and I realized that back to life. And then I started seeking consciously, unconsciously for something. Like people would meet me and some friends would tell me that you are seeking something, and I'm like, yeah, I'm seeking. Suddenly, seeking me. What is life, and what is the meaning of life, and where am I supposed to go from here? Like, how do I want to take life? And then I came across a small spiritual organization here in Delhi, and I would not like to name it as of now. Maybe as we move forward into a few more videos, I will talk about it in detail. I ended up doing a few courses with them, and I realized that they had certain answers which I was lacking in my life. And I was very happy and I was very excited that finally I'm getting a direction, I'm getting more information about what life is. And then they offered me some higher spiritual programs, which I immediately jumped onto, and I got into spiritual counseling. And a few hours into my counseling, I started looking at my life. This is 2005, December. I started looking at my life as to what was I doing vis-a-vis life, vis-a-vis people, situations, how I was handling my life. And I started getting pretty comfortable because with your counselor, you're able to look at these things and gain a higher perspective as to what's happening. And one fine day, he ran a program on me, which took me into my mind, and I started to feel very anxious. I started to feel very heavy. And then waves of grief came over me and I started to cry. He asked me what's happening, and I said that I'm dying. And I was trying to understand that how is it possible, I'm still here in this room, I'm in this chair, and I'm in this life, I'm talking to my counselor and we are having this counseling session, and how is it that I'm dying? And he just asked me what's happening, and he slightly prodded me further, and it was complete black. I could not see anything. There was no visual and there was no sonic. They were totally shut off. There was no sonic, there was no visual, but there was just this feeling that I had died. And he took me over the incident, and I kept crying and I kept crying, and finally, very gradually, very gently, he brought my awareness back into the room, and I opened my eyes and I looked at him, and I was smiling, I was happy, I was relieved, I was unburdened, and I was like, this was sitting inside me all my life, and I was never a sad individual, but I never knew that there was this amazing thing to get, overwhelmed with, and finally be relieved that, okay, I'm out of it. I saw it and I'm out of it. And it made me very happy. And I immediately noticed, I said to him that the light is in the room is bright. Now that I'm speaking to you, this was 2006, maybe March, something like that, February or March. I think it's almost 15 years. And I have a very vivid recall of this incident when I looked at him in the eyes and I saw his eyes were shining. He was wearing spectacles and the sunlight, the light from the bulb which was following on him and was illuminating the room had suddenly, as if you turn the notch up. I said, it's a lot brighter than I've ever noticed. And he congratulated me for, seeing something and coming out of it and being very bright and happy about it. And he said, this is the end of the session. And I went home. The next day when I woke up and I got ready to go back to this organization and meet my counselor, as I was driving, I noticed that the sunlight was very bright and there was so much clarity with which I was able to see outside, So when I reached this organization and I communicated with my counselor, I told him that something has changed drastically in my universe, I said that it's as though, when you look outside a dirty window, or maybe you're in your car and the windscreen is not clean. It's like dirty. Maybe your car cleaner hasn't cleaned it for a few days. And then suddenly you wipe off all the dust from your screen. I said, this is how I'm now looking at life. I said, as though, like these days we have our car and we push this button and the water comes on the screen and suddenly your windscreen is clean and you're like, wow, it's beautiful. And before that it was kind of not clean. I said, this is how I'm comparing my life now. So something happened, going back and seeing that incident in my mind and coming back. So that was something of grave significance, because gradually I realized that I had this attraction for sunlight. One day I was looking at the sunlight and I just realized that I had fallen in love with sunlight. There was this particular hue, when the sunlight is falling on the road or the surfaces outside and you're looking at it, and I just kept looking at it and I was like, I got crazy for sunlight, And this is 15 years since I have had that experience. I'm still infatuated by sunlight. I keep telling people that I don't need the riches of the world to make me happy. I just look at the sunlight, something inside me connects with it, and that's my treasure. So friends, I'm not going to drag this video more. There are going to be many more videos where we will have such interesting conversations. I just wanted to connect with you today and explain to you about certain profound experiences I had very early on in my life. And after a long time, I have decided to connect with my audience, speak about it. And there are a lot more things, a lot more experiences, supernatural experiences, mysterious experiences, and more about my enlightenment and my viewpoint on life, which I would love to share with you. And if I could, get that desire within some of you to go towards this path of, the higher path of life, where you too could have such wonderful experiences and have more meaning in your life and lead a more fulfilling life. So for now, thank you very much for listening to my story, for listening to me, for connecting with me. And believe you me, I have a lot more to share with you. Some amazing stuff. So for now, thank you, and looking forward to connect with you soon. Alrighty, ciao.